Time to get some Bible reading in. Matthew 5:6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst. Now there's an idea. All right, sissy. Guess what the Bible says? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst. Are you hungry?
Yeah.
Let's go get some food. All right.
Welcome to Taco Bell. Underwear. You ready?
Chick-fil-A, I could eat there 7 times a day. Where the children laugh and play. Chick-fil-A. Alright guys, blessed are those who hunger and thirst. Let's eat up.
Okay.
Quesadilla.
Give me that.
Ooh,
Good.
you know what I'm looking forward to?
What?
A frappuccino.
My tummy hurts so bad. My tummy hurts. I can't.
Oh, I can't.
We can make it here in the video.
I must have missed something. Let me read this. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst. I got that. Thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Oh man, not hunger and thirst after food.
Thanks a lot, Dad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that feels better. Man, I totally missed the mark. It's interesting when we don't understand exactly what it means to be satisfied. It's like the more we grasp for it, the more it eludes us, the more we miss the mark. Have you ever played with slime? When slime is like the perfect consistency, you pick it up and when you hold it, it almost like turns into a liquid in your hand and it droops out. When we hunger and thirst after the wrong thing, it's like we're grasping onto slime and it's just oozing out. It will eventually leave us with just residue in our hands. We like to think that our toys, our friends, our 401ks, our positions, our bank accounts, we think that if we pursue the fulfillment in those things, that they will somehow bring happiness, but it will elude us. It will eventually slip through our fingers, you know? Toys, they break or they wear out. Friends are humans and they make decisions and they come and they can go. 401ks fluctuate with the economy. Positions come and go. We don't know what tomorrow holds. And our bank accounts, and let's be real, if you have kids, they stay empty. And so, putting our hope, hungering and thirsting after happiness in those things will elude us. And so what is Jesus beginning to inspire in us? Well, we got to go back and think about where we've been. He said, blessed are those who are poor in spirit. And poor in spirit means that we recognize our need for Jesus, that we're broken and we can't do it without him. And then he says, blessed are those who mourn after their sin. They mourn, and then he promises that he would be the comfort. And so if we realize that we're the problem, we're poor in spirit, and we mourn over our sin, the thing that has caused distance between God and I, and he will comfort us. And then we learned about what it means to be meek. Blessed are the meek. Meekness is when we take those first two and we kind of begin to, we've not only acknowledged it in our own life, but now we're standing in front of others and saying, yeah, sometimes I miss the mark. Sometimes I don't do it right. And here we get to this place. We've been kind of emptied of ourselves. And Jesus is saying, blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be satisfied. So I've told you what it isn't. So what does it mean to hunger and thirst for righteousness? Well, let's talk about what it means to hunger and thirst. Remember in the story of the prodigal son? The first son gets his inheritance, goes and squanders it. Then he gets hungry, and he goes and he tries to satisfy himself with the pig slop. He eats what the pigs eat. But when he really began to hunger, when he began to starve for something more, what did he do? He turned to his father. Much like that, when we are hungering and thirsting after righteousness, it really means that we would hunger and thirst after Jesus. It means that we really understand that nothing in this world can satisfy, but only Jesus, only this relationship, this position with God. He becomes our chief desire, our chief aim in life. Our desire is to know him and to walk with him. I love this passage because it comes with that follow-up. It says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be satisfied. And that word is so intense because what it reveals to us is it's the type of satisfaction that not only will remind us of the goodness of God, but then it pushes us back to the hunger and thirsting. So the more that you hunger and thirst, the more that you're satisfied, and the more that you're satisfied, the more you hunger and thirst for righteousness. One of the things that's really difficult about this passage is that we like to think it's up to us. We like to look to our own self-righteousness. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after our self-righteousness. We think that what we do is what's going to gain a relationship or affection from God. But God has settled how he feels about us already through the cross. And so when we hunger and thirst after righteousness, that righteousness comes from the position, from the place that we are a child of God. There's nothing I could do to earn it. It's simply a gift. And so when we hunger and thirst after that relationship with Jesus, after that position with God, we are promised that we will be satisfied. Now, take some time as a family to begin to ask some questions about this text. Parents, be a little bit vulnerable. Maybe there's a time when you can point back and you can see when you were chasing after something that you hoped would satisfy you and it ultimately didn't. Maybe parents, you could share a time when you were hungering and thirsting after that relationship with Jesus and God was doing incredible things in your heart and life and you were satisfied. It's okay to look back at those and say, man, those were some good times. It inspires us to go back to those places. Man, what would it look like as a family to hunger and thirst for righteousness and be satisfied together? What would it look like to spur one another on in our relationship with Jesus? That is beautiful and important, and I hope that you guys are encouraged by today's message.